LeBron James. While his statistical accumulation and longevity are matters of record and skepticism, an analysis of the league's structural, cultural, and economic health during his tenure reveals a contrasting narrative, one of systemic destabilization. I argue that LeBron James's influence has served as the primary catalyst for the degradation of the NBA's product integrity. LeBron.
All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Hope you all are having a good day so far. So I had a members request to check out this video, simply titled "It's Over for LeBron James," and it's from a channel called Cliff Lodi. Now, I don't think I've ever heard of this channel, and so it's, they're at 7,000 subscribers. So some of you might know about this channel. I've never heard of it so far, so I'm going to do my usual, which is watch the video, and if I like it, I'm going to subscribe. But either way, the link to the original video is going to be down below in the description if you guys want to check out the channel as well. And yeah, I want to get right into this because I don't know the context, but I was requested to watch this, so I'm sure there's a reason. So let's get right into this. Guys, like the video if you could, hit that hype button if you could, and shout out to members. I appreciate you guys. Let's roll.
The modern NBA is inextricably linked to the career of LeBron James. While his statistical accumulation and longevity are matters of record and skepticism, an analysis of the league's structural, cultural, and economic health during his tenure reveals a contrasting narrative, one of systemic destabilization. I argue that LeBron James's influence has served as the primary catalyst for the degradation of the NBA's product integrity. LeBron successfully maximized his personal agency and financial outcomes. The second,
dude, the intro just had me staring at the imagery like, what the hell, man?
and third order effects of his choices have left the NBA with a fractured audience, a devalued regular season, and a competitive landscape defined by volatility rather than rivalry. To understand the magnitude of the shift initiated by LeBron James, one must first establish the baseline of the NBA's competitive architecture prior to 2010. For decades, the league operated on a model of organic growth and adversarial competition. The great dynasties, the Celtics of the 60s and 80s, the Lakers of the 80s and 2000s, the Bulls of the 90s, and the Spurs of the 2000s were built primarily through the draft and astute front office management. Superstars were the gravitational centers of their respective franchises, and the narrative of the league was driven by their attempts to overcome one another.
Yeah, and it wasn't so much about signing all-stars. It was about drafting somebody you had thought had the potential to be a great player, and then watching them kind of grow into your system. Now it's more about draft picks or whatever. It's more about just finding a current star and then trading the whole ship for him.
Michael Jordan did not join forces with Magic Johnson or Larry Bird after losing to the Detroit Pistons. He remained in Chicago, endured the Jordan rules, and eventually overcame the obstacle. This adversarial structure created deep tribal loyalties among fan bases. A fan in Utah, Indiana, or Phoenix could reasonably believe that with the right draft pick and development, their team could contend. In July 2010,
and it's also different too because the whole idea of like we're one piece away from being a championship team, it doesn't really fly nowadays because you might get that one piece next year, but then 2 or 3 of your crucial essential pieces have now left the team.
This social contract was broken. The Decision, a televised special where James announced he was taking his talents to South Beach.
And this is when it happened because the team was literally built around LeBron James. And then what's he do? He ups and dips it for a new team. So how are you supposed to build a team for a star when you don't know they're here today, gone tomorrow? And then you're stuck with this team that's built around somebody who's no longer there. So you got to wonder, no wonder why the Cavs sucked the next year. You know what I mean? They were built for this one man.
Was not merely a free agency move. It was a hostile takeover of the league's competitive balance. By colluding with fellow top 5 draft pick Dwayne Wade and all-star Chris Bosh to converge on the Miami Heat, James engineered a roster advantage so significant that it rendered the regular season of the Eastern Conference largely performative for the next 4 years. This move fundamentally effectively altered the psychology of the NBA star. It signaled that the regular season is irrelevant. Success is not built through 82 games of chemistry building, but through off-season transaction. Adversity is optional.
Well said.
Rather than overcoming rivals, one could simply absorb them. Markets are disposable.
Wow, instead of overcoming rivals, one can simply absorb them. Man, good writing.
The abandonment of Cleveland, a Rust Belt city that had poured its economic identity into the Cavaliers, established a precedent where small and mid-market teams are viewed merely as farm systems for coastal super teams.
Yeah.
The immediate on-court result was the
That's true too. The crappy teams get the good drafts, and then those drafts end up leaving the team. So it's like, it's a never-ending process.
LeBron Invitational. For 8 consecutive seasons, 4 in Miami, 4 in his return to Cleveland, James's teams dominated the Eastern Conference. While this is often cited as a testament to his greatness, a critical lens reveals it as a testament to the power of artificial roster stacking. The competitive tension that drives sports interests, the question of who will win, was replaced by a binary, the super team versus the field. The media has largely branded this era as one of player empowerment. However, a more accurate economic descriptor might be star entitlement or contractual nihilism. Following the James precedent, the sanctity of the contract, the foundational document of professional sports employment, has eroded. We have witnessed a cascade of stars forcing exits from teams that drafted and nurtured them, often with years remaining on their deals. Paul George forced his way out of Indiana and then Oklahoma City. Anthony Davis paralyzed the New Orleans Pelicans franchise to join James in Los Angeles. James Harden forced trades from Houston, Brooklyn, and Philadelphia in rapid succession. Kevin Durant left a championship foundation in Golden State to form a failed super team in Brooklyn, then forced a trade to Phoenix.
This is it. This is wow. It's crazy to see it all in front of my face because, yeah, this is what happened. This is what this led to.
This volatility is directly traceable to the roadmap established in 2010. The impact on the fans.
I like how like the Phoenix Suns big three with KD is not even worth mentioning because it was so terrible.
Is profound. In the pre-2010 era, a fan purchased a jersey or a season ticket with the reasonable expectation that the star player represented the city. Today, the LeBron model dictates that stars are temporary mercenaries. This disincentivizes emotional and financial investment from fans in small markets.
I agree.
For example, Memphis, Oklahoma City, Indianapolis, who know that their franchise is perpetually under siege, waiting for the inevitable trade demand. Third-order effects include the destabilization of the collective bargaining agreement, CBA. Owners have repeatedly attempted to institute supermax contracts to incentivize stars to stay in their home markets. Yet, because the cultural cachet of teaming up, a dynamic popularized by James, outweighs the marginal financial utility of the supermax for players already earning hundreds of millions in endorsements, these mechanisms failed. The James era has affected...
Yeah, the supermax is... I've seen it work. I don't like it. I'm just going to be straight up. I don't like it. 2 reasons. It'll work out two ways. One, look at Devin Booker. His loyalty is very, very appreciated here in Arizona. However, we're going to be stuck paying him $73 million. I can't remember. Starting next year, if I'm not mistaken. So he's consuming 1/3 of our money, basically. And like, yeah, it's good to reward him. But dude, like our team is like, there's not going to be any money to go around to get him any help. So it's not really like a winning formula. It's just all the money's going to one dude. Then you got the other way it can happen, which we saw with Luka Doncic, which is, you know, homie's about to get paid, same thing, you know, in the 70s, and the owner cuts him off. You know what I mean? And says it's not worth it. So I don't really see this working out to anyone's true benefit if winning is the goal.
Broken the economic tools designed to ensure league-wide parity. The empowerment era has claimed numerous victims, but the psychological toll on markets like Portland and Utah is illustrative. For years, Damian Lillard remained loyal to Portland, attempting to win on the old terms. Yet, the pressure from the media, constantly asking, when will Dame leave? And why is he wasting his prime? Reflects the cultural shift James normalized. Loyalty is now framed as a lack of ambition. When stars like Donovan Mitchell, Utah, or Lillard eventually leave, the franchises are forced into tanking cycles, engaging in a race to the bottom that renders their product unwatchable for years. This boom-bust cycle, accelerated by the mercenary culture, creates vast dead zones in the NBA landscape where teams are effectively non-competitive entities serving only to facilitate the transfer of assets to the Lakers, Heat, or Nets. Perhaps no aspect of James's tenure is as controversial within.
And before he moves on, like, imagine if Dirk didn't stay with Dallas and didn't tough it out. Like, the legacy would look so different. But the fact that he did stay home and he won that one championship, like, he's how do I want to say? He's forever, like, enshrined with the NBA. Like, everyone will always remember Dirk for that. And then same with Giannis with his one championship. He could be ring chasing right now, you know, and he could have been ring chasing many years ago, but instead he stuck it out and he won it the hard way. Those championships we don't forget. You know, the super team championships are like, you know, like, you were supposed to win, but it's when the underdog wins that it's something special.
League circles as the phenomenon of the shadow GM, colloquially known as Le GM. This refers to James's active, often covert participation in front office decision-making, roster construction, and coaching personnel management. While star players have always had influence, for example, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, James formalized this into a parallel power structure that operates outside the accountability of the official organization.
I also like how it's just so widely accepted that he lies about this, because he has said multiple times, I have nothing to do with the you know, the GM stuff, you know, he's nothing to do with trades or anything like that, but we all know better. We all know 100% it's been going on. We see the patterns from team to team, but it's just funny to me how widely accepted. It's like, yeah, LeBron lies.
The LeBron system of team building follows a predictable and destructive life cycle. James arrives at a franchise with fanfare, liquidation. He pressures the front office to trade all young, developing assets and draft picks for established veterans to win immediately. The team,
it's always about him. It's not about the team. He's not loyal to any franchise, any team. So when he leaves, I mean, he probably hopes they're terrible. You know what I mean? Like, he probably hopes he's leaving them in shambles so it's less competition. So that's not, I don't know. That alone is why I would never want him on my team, because I know he's not thinking about our future. He's thinking about this year for himself and nothing past that.
Contends for 2 to 3 years. The roster ages, the salary cap is clogged with untradeable veteran contracts, and the team lacks draft capital for the next 5 to 7 years. James leaves for a fresh situation, leaving the previous franchise in a state of insolvency. We observed this in his first exit from Cleveland, 2010, his exit from Miami, 2014, leaving behind an aging Wade and Bosch with no young help, and his second exit from Cleveland, 2000.
And a thanks to Pat Riley for all the work he did to accomplish that and just dip out on him, you know. So once again, built a team for LeBron, and then what's your reward? He just dips out on you. Now you're stuck trying to figure out what to do with all the pieces.
18, leaving a roster of overpaid role players like Tristan Thompson and J.R. Smith. The most egregious example of the GM malpractice occurred during the 2021 offseason with the Los Angeles Lakers. This event serves as the perfect microcosm of how shadow management destroys franchise value. The context is that the Lakers, just 1 year removed from a championship, possessed a strong defensive identity and depth. General Manager Rob Pelinka had a trade framework in place to acquire Buddy Hield from the Sacramento Kings. Hield, an elite three-point shooter, was the perfect tactical complement to James and Anthony Davis, providing the spacing necessary for their interior dominance. Reports and insider accounts confirm that James and Anthony Davis held a dinner meeting with Russell Westbrook. In this meeting, the three stars discussed...
By the way, Magic Johnson also had DeMar DeRozan ready to go to the Lakers, but yeah, LeBron wanted Westbrook.
Teaming up, prioritizing star power and ego management over basketball fit. James then directed the Lakers front office to abandon the Hield trade and instead acquire Westbrook. The trade was an unmitigated disaster. Westbrook's inability to shoot and his ball-dominant style clashed instantly with James. The Lakers missed the playoffs entirely. Crucially, James did not accept responsibility for the roster he engineered. Instead, his camp and friendly media voices engaged in a campaign campaign of deflection, scapegoating head coach Frank Vogel, who was fired, and Rob Pelinka. This behavior highlights the core toxicity of the LeGM model, power without accountability.
Which is crazy, because Vogel was good enough the year prior, wasn't he? It's not his fault they sucked. You know, he helped coach them to a championship right before this. But yeah, it's crazy how the scapegoat thing works when it's surrounded with LeBron. I have my suspicions about Kevin Durant too. I feel like he's a coach killer as well.
Super team works, James gets the credit for assembling the squad. When it fails, the front office is blamed for failing to surround the king with help. The firing of David Blatt in January 2016 remains a dark stain on the profession of NBA coaching. Blatt, a highly decorated international coach, was hired to lead the Cavaliers. In his second season, he coached the team to a conference-leading 30-11 record. Despite this objective success, he was fired mid-season. The consensus among analysts and insiders was that James simply did not respect Blatt and preferred Tyronn Lue, a former player who was part of the inner circle. James's passive-aggressive behavior on the court, ignoring play calls, taking over huddles, and visibly checking out, undermined Blatt's authority until the front office had no choice but to terminate him to appease their star. This set a chilling precedent. No amount of winning protects a coach if the star player decides they want to change. It reduced the head coach from a strategic authority figure to a star manager, whose primary job is to acquiesce to the whims of the franchise player. This degradation of the coaching profession contributes to the on-court sloppiness often seen in modern NBA games, where strict systems and accountability are sacrificed for player comfort. A sports league is sustained not just by games, but by its mythology, the annual rituals that build history and prestige. The NBA's two crown jewels of the regular season, the slam dunk contest and the All-Star game, have suffered a catastrophic decline in relevance during the James era.
100%.
This is not coincidental. It is a direct result of the culture of cool and risk aversion.
Dunk contest has gotten so bad that I don't know if you guys seen, but Shaq actually, he delivered what he said he wanted to do, which was go out and find people from all over the world, like the best dunkers in the world, and then give them a cash prize, you know, and just have different rounds of the dunk contest. It's been going on over the last couple of weeks, and it's really fun, really fun. But why do we need this? Because LeBron started the whole thing where like the stars aren't going to show up for the dunk contest. And it's a damn shame, because it was like, it's so cool to see amazing dunks, but they're still randoms. To see your favorite basketball players out there doing those dunks, that's what made it special.
That James has championed. The slam dunk contest was once the battleground of the gods. Dr. J, Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, Kobe Bryant, and Vince Carter used the contest to assert their alpha status. They understood that putting their reputation on the line on Saturday night was part of the duty of the face of the league. LeBron James is indisputably one of the greatest in-game dunkers in history. Yet, he is the only player of his caliber in history to never participate in the dunk contest. This refusal stems from a deep-seated fear of losing.
It
in
is.
The curated world of King.
And not only did he not do it, he said he was going to, and then he didn't do it. So that makes it 10 times worse. If he would have just said like, nah, like I got nothing on these other guys, you know, like let them have their fun. That's fine. But to say like, I think I'm going to enter next year, you know, put my name in the hat, and then not to show up for the fans, that was a big FU moment.
James, a loss in a dunk contest would be a loss of control over the narrative. Unlike Jordan, who risked losing to Wilkins and did in 1985, only to come back and win, James opted for safety. Adding insult to injury, James frequently teased participation, most notably in 2010, when he announced at the event that he would enter the following year, only to renege. James's refusal gave permission for every subsequent superstar to opt out.
And it was already a bad look by then, because he was already in the league for like 6-7 years. 6-7, sorry. 6-6. Anyways, what the hell was I saying? Like, he should have done it in 2004, like his rookie year. That's, the rite of passage time. And it's not embarrassing if you lose a dunk contest as a rookie. We just appreciate seeing you out there. So he should have been out there his rookie year. At the least, he should have been out there in 2005. But 7 years later, he's flirting with the idea of doing it. And then he doesn't show up. It's like, come on, man.
The king is too good for the dunk contest.
Dude, Jordan even participated in a 3-point contest, because he was asked to, and it was good for the fans, so he did it. Did he get embarrassed? I guess. Did he care? No. Did any of us care? No, it was actually hilarious. It was fun to watch. And like a new meme was started, even though that wasn't a thing back then. But the comedy was MJ, I guess MJ can't shoot these threes without a hand in his face. In other words, he can't be wide open shooting these threes because he was bricking. It was a funny thing, a cool little chapter. Could have had something like that for you. And honestly, LeBron, you probably could have won a dunk contest.
And so is Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and Ja Morant. The contest has thus devolved into a showcase for G League players.
Yeah, not having Zion or Ja or any of these guys in a dunk contest is a true crime.
Mac McClung, an end of bench.
By the way, yeah, allergies are still rampant, guys. I'm doing my best here.
Rookies. The star power that fueled the event's global appeal has evaporated, leaving a hollow shell of a once legendary event.
Yep.
If the dunk contest died from neglect, the All-Star Game was murdered by fraternity. Historically, the All-Star Game was the one night where the best players in the world, often bitter rivals, shared a court. The tension between East and West, Magic versus Bird, fueled a competitive fire. Under James's influence, the game transformed into a friendly pickup run. James championed the abolition of East versus West in favor of a playground draft. While initially novel, it destroyed conference pride. This results in the embarrassing spectacle of the modern All-Star Game. 0 defense, 200-point scores, and players openly jogging. When the face of the league treats the mid-season showcase as a joke, the fans treat it as one too. The numbers tell
I just wish that the players can understand the fan perspective, which this is what it's always been. It's been a fan appreciation thing, the All-Star Game. All this is being advertised to the fans as the greatest players on earth all on stage together for one game. I don't think they get that's what we're expecting. To them, it's like we just show up and everybody's happy. That's not what's advertised. We're supposed to see the greatest show on earth.
Dark story. Under LeBron James's stewardship as the face of the league, the NBA has shrunk in domestic popularity. At his absolute peak, 2016, James drew 9 million fewer viewers than Jordan. 2020, viewership collapsed to levels typically associated with regular season NFL games or reality TV finales, not the premier event of a global sport.
Yeah.
The argument that cord cutting explains this decline is insufficient. As the NFL has maintained massive viewership, Super Bowls consistently draw 100 million plus. The decline is specific to the NBA's product and brand health. The devaluation of the regular season is another legacy of the James era.
Fun fact, by the way, the video game awards actually outperformed the most recent Super Bowl. First time it's ever happened. Crazy. It was crazy. Like, I'm talking live viewership. More people tuned in for the video game awards than for the Super Bowl. I never thought I'd see today.
James pioneered the concept of coasting or pacing himself during the regular season to conserve energy for the playoffs. This evolved into load management, the practice of healthy stars sitting out games.
Let me be fair on this one. Yeah, LeBron and Kawhi Leonard, guys like this really, really took load management and went to a really messed up place. However, if you want to say who started it, it's probably Popovich, Coach Popovich, because he did. It was different times, man. But he started it by resting his starters, his stars, Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker, and he would do that at the end of the season when their playoff position was already intact. So in other words, he didn't want his players to get injured the last couple of games right before the playoffs. Now that, he went under a lot of heat for that. I mean, David Stern was fighting him, and the fans were pissed off because, you know, these were big games. However, to think how small that was, how compared to where we're at now, with people, you know, players not showing up so often, like, it's crazy how far it's gone. Popovich started it, and Kawhi Leonard and LeBron just poured like lighter fluid onto the fire.
Pay premium prices, often hundreds of dollars, to see the Lakers or Clippers, only to find that James or Leonard are sitting out for rest.
Yep.
This consumer fraud has eroded trust in the regular season product. Regular season viewership on national networks, ABC/ESPN/TNT, has stagnated or declined, hitting a low of 1.34 million average viewers in 2021. When the games
it's gotten so bad, you guys. I'm at the point now where before I even like tune into a basketball game, I have to check the NBA app and see who's playing, because more times than not, the player I want to tune in to watch is not showing up that day.
Matter to the players, they don't matter to the viewers. The career of LeBron James is a paradox of individual maximization and collective diminution. He has arguably extracted more value from the NBA in terms of money, fame, and agency than any player in history. However, the evidence suggests he has left the institution itself poor. By prioritizing the super team over organic competition, he destroyed the tribal parity that fuels sports fandom.
Yeah, it's a narcissist thing, man. You know, just consume, and leave you crippled. It's a personality thing.
Operating as a shadow GM, he destabilized franchises and normalized a culture of zero accountability for stars. By refusing the dunk contest and fraternizing in the All-Star game, he stripped the league's showcase events of their mythic power. History will remember LeBron James as a great player, but it must also record him as the architect of a diminished NBA, a league that is less competitive, less popular, and less culturally unified than the one he inherited. Like, subscribe, share, and maybe even hype the video. Let me know if you agree with
I'm doing it for you.
LeBron has destroyed the NBA. Thanks for watching.
I'm gonna subscribe too. That was a cool video. Very, very cool. I'm with him though. Absolutely. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. And I muted it. I've never heard. First of all, we all know this is not the greatest of all time. You know, we all know, we see through the BS narrative, because how obvious could it be? You think about every other sport's greatest of all time, they lift the sport up to a level where it's never been before, to its highest peak, because that's how great it is to watch the greatest of all time in action. We had that with Jordan, you know. In football, we had that in the 80s and the 90s, you know, like we had good times. Baseball, you can say the same thing, even though, like, you know, Barry Bonds kind of ruined his legacy with all the steroids like everybody else did. We got an era where we're watching like Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, you know, Sammy Sosa. We had all these great pitchers as well. Like when true greatness is on stage, people tune in to watch. They'll find a way to watch the game. You know, but in the LeBron James era, that's not been the case. As the video showed, even at his best, you know, that 2016 NBA Finals, he was still way lower than the viewership of Jordan in the Finals in '98. So what do you say to that? You know, when were people watching boxing the most? I'm not even going to look it up, but I can already tell you it was during Mike Tyson's prime, okay? When the greatest is out there, we even pay money. We were paying good money on pay-per-view and stuff. Not me, but like, you know, our parents back then were buying like pay-per-view events. And sometimes they last like 5 minutes. I mean, ring time, they last like 30 seconds sometimes with Prime Tyson. But yeah, when it's that good, people will find a way to watch. And I see the opposite happening now. People are trying to force themselves to watch basketball games right now because it's like, it's something like for me, I know I don't like the current game that much, but I love basketball so much that I keep coming back. You know, it's kind of a toxic relationship at this point. But anyways, I'm out of here, guys. Leave your comments down below. Check out this channel if you enjoyed this video. The link is down below in the description. And yeah, I appreciate you all hanging out. Sorry about the allergies, guys. I don't know what this is, when it'll clear up. But I've heard from some of you out in New York, out in San Francisco, like out in Chicago, all in different areas in the United States, and you're all saying allergies are killing you too. So I guess I'm not the only one. Anyways, yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Like the vid if you could. Hit that subscribe button if you want more content like this, and most importantly, it's the be water, my friends. Peace.